Welcome back to the Commanders Declassified podcast, your home for all things Washington Commanders free agency, and it's in full swing, people. The Commanders are out here attacking the day, carpe diem, at least the first day of free agency. Eric, we made a ton of moves, not a ton, but we made some moves. I'm gonna go off the top. We re-signed Jeremy McNichols, running back. He was a decent piece last year. We got Will Harris, the safety from New Orleans, formerly of the Detroit Lions, I think, for a couple seasons. He replaces Jeremy Chin. Javon Kinlaw's our defensive tackle. He replaces John Allen. Bobby Wagner's back. Zach Ertz is back. John Bates is back. Tressway is back. And then we also have traded for Laramie Tunsil, a future left tackle for the next 2 to 3 years. Who am I forgetting, by the way? We traded for Debo Samuel, and Diami's gone, and John Allen's gone, and who's the other person that we lost in free agency so far? But nonetheless, Eric, what is your favorite move from GM Adam Peters so far?
I like the trade for Laramie Tunsil. I think that's kind of the biggest boss move. Excuse me. I don't see how, left tackle was a huge need, and there really weren't that many great options available in free agency. And to be able to swing a trade that really nobody saw coming, as far as I know, Tunsil's still got 2 years left on his deal. Been a really good player for many years. I'm not quite going to put him as like elite level left tackle, but he's very good left tackle. And you could do a lot worse, and we have. So it's very nice to see that he's going to be in the fold next year. That frees up Brandon Coleman, who is, had his struggles, played well at times too, but had his struggles at left tackle last year, but is a really good athlete. And you have the option to kick him into guard. You can move him over to the right side, slide Wiley into the right guard position until Sam Cosmi gets back. You got a lot of options now. Tunsil brings that up. So very excited to have the new franchise left tackle in place, at least for the next couple of years.
Yeah, it kind of harkens back to our days when we had Chris Samuels and then Trent Williams and John Jansen, right? Like that whole era of just elite left tackle play. Hey, Eric, does this move signal anything to you with the way they want Jaden Daniels to play in 2025, 2026?
I mean, I think they want him to play upright. That has a lot to do with it. Maybe rely a little bit less on his scrambling. But yeah, I don't know. The left tackle was just a really important position because, Coleman gave up a lot of pressures and a lot of sacks last year. And you got a franchise quarterback in place, it appears. So you want to make sure that guy plays upright as much as possible. Me personally, I would love to see Jaden Daniels get under center more next year. Mm-hmm. Just because that opens up more options for play action, and in the run game, you can do a lot more when the quarterback's under center. Just wasn't there that much last year. Probably Jaden not comfortable. It's the new NFL. I'm an old-fashioned guy, but get your quarterback under center some. You can do a lot of fun things you can do. But I don't think that has anything to do with Ronnie Stanley. I think it was just keeping him healthy. It was the main deal.
Yeah, I think, to me, I do think this is a signal that they want to transition away from the run with the quarterback some, right? Laramie Tunsil was an elite pass blocker. He's an okay run blocker. That's the book on him. And truthfully, I want Jaden Daniels to transition away from the run some too, right? And I think like when we drafted him, I thought I might have a plan where like year one is kind of whatever, figure it out, use your legs. Year two would be a lot kind of like the Josh Allen plan, except for Josh Allen still runs a freaking ton. I think they want Jaden Daniels to transition into a full-time pocket passer by the end of year three, and then use his legs opportunistically when the situation applies. And having a franchise tackle like Laramie Tunsil helps that out a lot. Jaden Daniels is an assassin from the pocket, right? Especially when he gets time. He is amazing. He opens things up down the field for us too. The compensation piece, I wrestle with it a little bit. I'm over that now. Laramie Tunsil is a massive addition to our offensive line. I'm very grateful we have the move. Mike, what about you? What's your favorite move so far?
I mean, how can you not like the Tunsil move? Just It had everything. It was surprising. It came out of nowhere. We were all at work chilling, all at home chilling, after school chilling. Then bam, left tackle is solved. But I'll go back, man. Javon Kinlaw, man. When I'll admit, I probably was like everyone else when we first made the signing. It was confusing. Like, man, as a defensive tackle, that's a lot of money when you first see it. But after marinating on it, after sitting with it, thinking about it, I think it could be a good signing, man. And it's the first signing, so you know it was something that was important to the organization. So I think the Tunzel move, the Kinlaw move, they're all good moves. Losing Chin hurts. I'm not gonna lie, losing Chin hurts. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy that we brought in Walt Harris, or not Walt Harris. Is it Walt
Will
Harris?
Harris.
Will Harris.
Will.
Okay, I'm sorry. Walt Harris. Isn't that the corner
That's
from like
like
'05?
2004. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's old school.
I digress. I digress. Bringing him in, he seems like he's physical and he plays the ball well. And that's two things, I'm sorry, that I was thinking about the secondary needed more of. Physicality and ball play. When the ball is in the air, it just seems like every cornerback just forgets how to play cornerback.
Yeah.
The ball just easily floats into the receiver's hands. At least with Harris, that's something that I've seen on tape. He will not let an easy catch happen if he's in the area. I'm pretty sure y'all all saw the CD Lamb hit and a couple of other plays, so he's good. So I really can't give him any bad grades so far. It's been good 48 hours of tampering or legal tampering, which is an oxymoron, but whatever.
Yeah, anytime CD Lamb gets hit, that's a win for us. I think with the Will Harris move, Harris is better in coverage than Chen was. So that's an upgrade there. That's a big need. You nailed it. We'll see about. I mean, Chen just found a way to make plays, right? Like, and I think Chen outperformed my expectations when we signed him last year. Let's see what Will Harris does. I'm excited. Um, Eric, is there a move that you wanted them to make that player got signed by another team?
Oh yeah, Charvarius Ward. That was my guy that I wanted. That was my first target in free agency. And yeah, he's a Baltimore Colt or Baltimore whatever Indianapolis Colt these days. So I still live in 1982, like Uncle Rico. Um, yeah, that hurts, And then with DJ Reed also going to Detroit, I think this team still needs to add a corner at some point, a starting level corner, and those guys are kind of drying up now. So that's my one critique or concern. I don't know if they even met with Ward or Reed. I don't know what happened there, but they ended up elsewhere. So we're going to have to figure something out for corner because we can't do another year of Mike Davis and Benjamin St. pass interference playing corner. So yeah, we gotta get that fixed. But outside of that, I got no other knocks.
Yeah. What about you, Mike? Same question, man. Is there a free agent you want us to go after, and they just ended up with another squad?
Quick question: who did Reed end up with? Did he?
Detroit.
Detroit.
Okay, I thought so. Google was not helping me with that. um, um, I don't know. I think there's still possibilities to get a signing or two that I want. I really feel like at this point we may not need to go in the draft to get a wide receiver because there's some pretty good choices left. We talked about, well, I don't know if we talked about it during the show, but DeAndre Hopkins signed with the Ravens. I didn't necessarily want him, but would have accepted him with open arms, especially for $6 million. Great move by the Ravens. Um, Cooper Cup, if they could find a way to bring him in, I'm satisfied with free agency. We can attack the draft the way I feel like it needs to be attacked. Attacked. I'm sorry, by bringing in young, hungry talent and let the veterans show them how to do. Bringing in Cup, drafting a receiver late, that would be chef's kiss, man. Like for real.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cooper Cup at the right price and the right expectations would be a very solid move because we only have four receivers on the roster, and one of those is Luke McCaffrey, right? And he has work to do. Um, for me, I think like number one, we haven't got an edge rusher at all, and I think there were a couple of edge rushers. I think the one that we were thinking of from Indy went to Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. Obingo, whatever his name was. And then there's a couple others that we were talking about, but we got to address that position. And I'm a little nervous to leave that up to a rookie. But I will say when Chase Young is getting like $20 million a year as an edge rusher, I understand why we're not out there overpaying for other guys, but we got to do something. All right, Eric. There's some still strong free agents on the block, not the block, but available. I'm gonna give you 10. I want you to tell me pass or sign, and then Mike, I'm gonna give you 10. You tell me pass or sign. Okay, Eric. We're gonna start with yours. Actually, we'll just alternate between you two. Amari Cooper, Eric, pass or sign?
I'd sign Amari Cooper. I've always liked Amari Cooper. I think he'd be a great number 2 with the other guys we have.
I like it too. Mike, Stephon Diggs.
If he's willing, sure. On a cheap contract, sign.
Okay. Eric, Rasul Douglas, the cornerback.
I'm gonna pass. See what else is out there.
Okay. Cam Robinson, the tackle, Mike.
At this point, pass. We'd be better off just drafting somebody younger. I feel like.
I got you. Okay, Eric, guard Tevin Jenkins.
No, I'd pass. I don't think guard is something I'm worried about at this point in the offseason. Now, if he's there in May, then we'll talk.
I like it. Mike, Kendall Fuller. You should know this one well.
Ooh, man. Pass only because of the youth movement that I feel like is needed in the secondary. But, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah, I think at this point, your question if he can be good, he's going to be.
Sign him to a one-day contract so he can retire.
What about Asante Samuel Jr., Eric?
I'd sign Asante Samuel Jr.
I didn't know he was available. Wow.
He gets, yeah, no, I would. He's a playmaking type of corner. I think he could do well. A little on the small side, I think. I don't remember exactly how big he is, but yeah, I'd go for it.
He had a rough year last year in San Diego or Los
Angeles. We can do reclamation projects though.
Okay, well, speaking of reclamation Kevin Zeitler, center, I think he is, or is he a guard?
He's a guard. Center, ain't he?
He's a guard, yeah.
Cowboys or Bengals?
Is Kevin Zeitler available? He was an 87 PFF last year.
Where is he coming from, Ellie?
Detroit.
So just let me bear with me for a second on this. I'm not going to say pass because we saw what happens when Biotis is out. The entire offense just destructs. Like, it's bad. It's really, really bad. So if he's, again, all this is determined on the money. It's like there are targets that Washington went after that did not come here after everybody say, oh, they want to come here and play with Daniels. Listen, money is going to talk every single time. So if the money talks to Zeitler and he's willing to come, yes, definitely. We need a backup center.
Dang, he is still out there. And yeah, Samuel Jr. is out there. Here's one for you. Mike Hilton, the cornerback. He was with Cincinnati. Remember when he came out, he was like the slot corner of the future. Eric, we pass on this guy, or would you make an attempt to sign?
I'm going to pass on Mike Hilton. I think we're good. I'd bring back Igbenogany before I bring in somebody from the outside that's probably going to cost more. Igbenogany is actually younger than Hilton. So yeah, I'd pass on that.
Okay. I don't know. I think I'd be all right with that, except for he plays the same spot as Samastro, and I think they want to put Samastro back on the inside this year. So
yeah.
Tackle Tyron Smith from the Cowboys. Was he with the Jets last year? 73.7 overall, but he was with the Cowboys or something.
He might want too much money. We did lose Lucas to the Lions, I think, or did he go to the Browns? One of those teams.
Yeah, he went to the Browns, I think.
Okay, Browns, yeah. So we do need another swing tackle. I don't know if he fits, but again, if he's willing and that money's talking right, why not?
All right, I got a couple rapid fire for you guys real quick. Mekhi Becton, Eric.
Man, yes, I think I would, because then you can, yeah, because he had a really good year he's a left guard, I believe.
Yep.
And yeah, that's a position that we could definitely upgrade. And again, you could push Brandon Coleman out to right
Right
tackle. So
tackle.
yeah, I think Mekhi Becton at guard would be good. Stunk as a tackle, but a heck of a guard.
Keenan Allen, Mike.
Boy, did you? Yes, 1,000%. Yes, that is the one that I want, man. Just as much as Cup, I want Keenan Allen. Do I sound like a Keenan Allen fan right now? Yes. I
Me
know
and
he's supposed to
Keenan are
do rapid
hairline bros, so
fire.
I'd take him too.
Listen, I know he's supposed to do rapid fire, but listen, that is the one. We get him or Cup, the offense cooks next season, straight up.
All right, Eric, I got a 3-parter for you. Tell me
Uh-oh.
or Von Miller or Zadarius Smith or Joey Bosa.
Well, Joey Bosa is going to San Francisco. I'm like
Oh.
90% sure. Like that was almost a done deal. But I'd go Zadarius Smith over Vaughn at this point. I think Vaughn is really just like a situational pass rusher right now, whereas there might still be a little bit left in the tank for Zadarius Smith. So I think I'd go there.
Yeah, that Bosa
That's a
is
tough one
not-
though, because I mean I would love to have Von Miller here just because he's Von Miller.
Yeah.
But I think Zadarius Smith might give you more of an all-around player at this point in his career.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. Mike, Stephon Gilmore or Justin Simmons or Jonathan Jones.
I'm gonna go with Gilmore. I know he's older, but hopefully hopefully they saw what happened last year when they refused to sign Gilmore and went to the season questionable at cornerback. There was a problem the entire season, all the way up through the freaking NFC Championship game.
Mm-hmm.
I know Gilmore is slower or whatever, but hopefully you're playing with more leads. You're forcing the team to pass more. He's savvy. Bring the Bama in. The other two corners, they're not that bad, but the familiarity of Gilmore, he should have been here last year. And yeah.
I'm gonna do my own or J.K. Dobbins or Nick Chubb or Rico Dowdle. I'm gonna say Nick Chubb. And I think I love Nick Chubb's game. I know he was hurt and all that other stuff, but Nick Chubb is still Nick Chubb. I think he's got one more season left of high-level football. He'll be a lot more healthy than he was last year coming off that injury. I say sign him, give him a shot. And then we can focus on drafting a younger back later. They re-signed they tendered Chris Rodriguez. I don't think anybody's going to match that. They brought McNichols back. I'm okay with moving on from Brian Robinson Jr. But Nick Chubb, I like it. All right, Eric, how has our draft plans changed based on our free agency thus far? In particular, the first round pick that we
I don't know that it really has. They may not look at a left tackle as hard in the first round. But I think, you're still looking for a starting corner and an edge rusher. So those are both on the table at 29. Like we've just been talking about running back upgrades. So that's on the table in round 1 or 2. So I don't think the draft plans have changed too much. I think they treat them completely separately and individually, as they should.
Yeah, I think based on what's happened so far, I feel like we're almost locked into an edge rusher at our first pick, unless they sign one in free agency. And then I feel like it almost has to be a running back. But Mike, what are your thoughts on that first pick now?
I don't know. It kind of depends on how you see the Kinlaw signing. I really wish I can. I think it was Chad Forbes. I saw him mention the elephant formation that Dan Quinn used to run in Seattle and how he used bigger defensive ends to help with run support. Kinlaw fits that description, I feel like. So if you use him like Seattle used Red Bryant as a defensive end, that takes end off the table, I feel like, in the first round. but you still will have to address it, but not necessarily in the first round. I think the free agency so far, it has widened the horizon for the draft picks, if that makes any sense. I don't think they're really locked in at any position right now. And that's why I said earlier, if they were able to draft a wide receiver, sign a wide receiver before the draft, it really furthers opened up the possibility of just drafting the best player overall or available.
Yeah. I think the issue with Kinlaw playing in is that that's a situational thing, right? You still need pass rush, right? And we are, no matter what you do with that line configuration, we are sorely lacking pass rush. So you have to solve that problem somehow. Now, is it possible that we resign Fowler? Yes. And at this point, I'm fine with that
That's what I
too.
was about to say.
But there's a bunch of other guys too. I don't think free agency for the edge rushers is that strong, but man, I just don't know about relying on a rookie. So um, we'll see. Time will tell. So I was looking at a mock draft earlier today, and I saw that it was projecting us to take the receiver out of Texas, a really fast one, Golden, out of Texas, which I'd be fine with at 29. I feel like though that there's so many wide receivers still on the market that we could use that first pick in a much better way, like addressing the quarterback spot, right? Um, Eric, what do you want to see them do in free agency from here, based on what's on the market left?
It's funny because, like, technically, free agency hasn't even started yet as of the time we're recording this. But yeah, we just talked about plenty of quality players, a little bit older that are still out there in many cases, but still really quality players like Amari Cooper and Von Miller and those guys. Like those are there, and those are the guys that you get on 1-year deals a little later in the free agency. A lot of time as the market kind of slows down. So again, I can't help. Asante Samuel Jr. is still a relatively young player. Need to upgrade that second cornerback spot. There might be a way to do that there. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm just looking to address those needs. The players that we need to replace. That starting corner is a big one. Edge rusher. So you can definitely re-sign a Fowler, get yourself a situational edge rusher, get a run stuffer guy. You can get those guys. They're out there in free agency. You just might need to wait them out. You might not be signed on day one. But yeah, that's what we're looking for. Just keep filling out those needs. That's all I want to see. We know what the needs are. They know what the needs are. They probably know better than we do. So go ahead and trust them. They didn't steer us wrong last year.
Yeah, I almost have to believe that Peters is working those phones nonstop, and there will be several more guys that we signed for sure. All right, let's see, Mike. We are slated in another mock draft to take the edge rusher Donovan Uziraku from Boston College, 6'2", 248. Kind of light on the defensive end position, actually. But is there any other position besides edge rusher that – actually, let me say this. Is there a position you want us to stay away from in the first round?
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. Running back.
No, man, don't say that.
Yeah, no, it's too many. It's too many running backs. My apologies. It's too many running backs in the draft for us to draft one in the first round. I keep pushing his name, and I doubt he comes here, and I'm okay with that. But if Rocket Raheem Sanders is a projected 6th-round draft pick, no team should be drafting a running back in the first round because that man is good. And I'm like, if you can get him in the 6th, you don't need to draft Genty in the first, or what's my man from North Carolina, Hampton, I think. You don't need to draft him in the first. You could just draft a running back after you get your most important positions in the draft. Why draft a running back in the first if you're Washington when you need an edge, you need a receiver? Hell, we could use better linebacker play than a first-round running back, man. I'm just not with it, bro. I'm sorry.
We haven't talked about backup linebacker enough because you're 100% right. Behind Wagner and behind Louisville, who is it? Who is it? McGee?
Jordan McGee.
That's it, though. It's really just McGee. That's it. That's all I could think of.
Yeah. We got a lot of holes to fill still, and mainly around depth. And I think as like you get to Thursday, Friday range, you'll see some guys filled in there. Go ahead, Mike.
Now, I know it takes two to tango, but I'm telling you, that 29th pick will not be drafted by Washington on the last Friday in April. We will not, I mean, Thursday in April. We will not be picking until Friday in the draft. So just go to sleep early. Like, real talk. Don't stay up late to get to pick 29. It ain't happening for us. This is rare territory for us to pick this late in the draft. So, yeah, but don't get excited because it's just not happening. Somebody's going to trade up in that 29th spot.
What you're saying is don't live stream the draft then, because the first round, because who ain't gonna care?
Man, I ain't even think about that. That's gonna be a long night.
Eric, how many wins have we added through free agency, in your opinion?
We've broken even at this point. The off season is so young, we can't even begin to guess that. But why not? I'll say, how many did we win last year? We added 5 wins. We're going 17-0 because it is March, and that's how we roll.
Oh, Mike, you'll play my game. How many wins do you think we've added this offseason?
It's hard though, Ali, because they won 12 last year. Do you expect them to win? Let me flip it back on you. Do you expect them to win more than 12 games with a schedule that's a little bit more difficult than last
but
season?
You know what? So what I think is, with the more difficult schedule, we were going to go backwards a little bit from a record perspective, right? So I think we'd probably be in the 10-win range. I think we're back to the 12-win range. So +2 with the moves that we made, all things considered, Net 0, but +2. It makes sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. Yeah, like I feel like I was going to say that actually, the 10 to 12 win range right now for the team, based tremendously on Jayden Daniels. Like, if he plays like he plays last year, I don't see why this team can't win double digits again, especially if they get better overall on the roster. But knowing the ebbs and flows of the NFL, I can't say that right now in March that they're going to win 12 games again. I'm not that fan. I'm not an Eagles fan. Oh.
I'm that guy. Hey, did any of our NFC East rivals get considerably better so far through free agency?
Yes, the Giants. The Giants. They signed Holland, I think. They signed a couple of D linemen. They brought back Slayton. I really wanted him to come to DC, but they paid him just as much as Philly paid Saquon. So obviously they wanted them back. But yeah, they're tired of being in the basement. They're coming for Dallas and Washington, man. Like they're coming. They're not pushovers anymore. They're going to get a new quarterback in the draft. Yeah, don't sleep on New York anymore. They are coming.
Well, to be fair, they don't have a quarterback yet. Okay, so there's a lot of talk about them and Aaron Rodgers.
Cam Ward. You think they're going to sign Rodgers?
That's been the talk.
I think Rodgers looks like he's going to the Steelers right now.
I like him better in Pittsburgh. Real talk.
I mean, that frees up. That means Russ is coming to New York. So
yeah, I agree with you, Eric. I mean, if Rodgers goes to the Steelers and Russ comes to New York,
he might be all right out there. If Russ goes to New York, he might be all right.
No, he won't.
Got some weapons, man.
I think Rodgers is much more dangerous in New York than Russ. I'm not really overly worried about either one of them, but so we'll see. All right, Eric, are you concerned about the Eagles and what they've done this offseason?
I haven't even looked at what the Eagles have done this offseason. I don't even know. I don't care about Philadelphia. I'll worry about them when it's Philly week in 2025. They can do whatever they want. They won the Super Bowl. Congrats to them, but I don't care about them right now. So
I cannot say the same about them. They care so much about us. It's not even funny, bro.
That's on them. That's fine. Good for them.
All right. Mike, what's your message to Adam Peters? Your advice to Adam Peters for the rest of this free agency period?
Keep cooking. It's like, nah. No, just be smart. Like, don't go away from what got you to DC. Because I tell people all the time, this man Peters has been in systems that have found players all over free agency to draft real quick. I'm talking early Patriots dynasty, the mid-10s Broncos, he was there. The 20 San Francisco 49ers, he was there. First year in DC, NFC Championship. You know what you're doing, Adam. Keep doing it, bro, for real.
That's a good message. Eric, what would your message be to Peters from here to the end of free agency?
Give me free tickets at that new stadium. Free agency. Yeah, man. Go keep calling Charvarius until that legal tampering period ends, because he hasn't signed anything yet. You can still get him.
That would be bro.
Wicked.
That'll be ridiculous if that happens.
Yeah.
It kind of happened with Milton for the he signed with the Panthers, but ended up. I mean, he signed with the Panthers. It was announced, but he ended up in New England. So
really,
it happens. They renege all the time on these
contracts. He's a commander. Let's do it.
Panthers got to be hot. My message would just be like, yo, we got to get depth. Fill out depth. I love the bigger signings, but make sure we're filling out this roster, because you can't do it all in the draft. Because at some point, somebody's getting hurt, and you're going to have to rely on those folks. So don't forget about depth, Adam. I know he won't, but we should be solid elsewhere. All right, Commanders Declassified. There's your free agency so far. We'll stay keep you guys up to date with everything that's going on in the Commanders universe. So far, so good in free agency. A lot more to do, but for now, Commanders Declassified. We are out of here. Peace.